The champagne glass exploded against the marble floor. Kade Yoon stood frozen in the middle of Incheon Airport's first-class lounge, his hand still extended in midair where the glass had been seconds ago. Around him, wealthy travelers turned to stare at the commotion. A flight attendant rushed forward with a towel, but Kade didn't even notice her. His eyes were locked on a woman across the terminal. She stood near gate 47, wearing a dark blue coat and sunglasses, her hair shorter than he remembered but unmistakable. The way she held her coffee cup, the slight tilt of her head as she checked her phone. Every detail screamed one impossible name. Sienna Cross. But Sienna Cross was dead, had been dead for 2 years. Kade had seen the death certificate himself, had watched his lieutenant place it on his desk with the words, "It's confirmed, boss. Car accident in Cape Town. She's gone." Kade! Elise Kang's voice cut through his shock. His fiancée touched his arm, her perfectly manicured fingers gentle but insistent. "Kade, what's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost." He couldn't speak. His throat had closed up completely. The woman across the terminal shifted her position, and for just a moment, she looked directly at him. Even behind those sunglasses, Kade knew she saw him too. And she didn't look surprised at all. I need a moment," Kade managed to choke out. He pulled away from Elise and headed toward the bathroom, his heart hammering so hard he thought it might burst through his chest. Before we dive deeper into this twisted tale of betrayal and survival, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you do not want to miss what happens next. And drop a comment. Have you ever seen someone you thought was gone forever? Let's hear your stories. 30 minutes earlier, Kade Yoon had walked into Incheon Airport that morning feeling like a king. 5 years of blood, sweat, and calculated moves had brought him here. 5 years of transforming himself from a street-level operator in Kingston into a legitimate business mogul in Seoul. His empire was clean now, on paper at least. Tech investments, real estate holdings, consulting firms that actually consulted. And at his side, the crown jewel of his reinvention, Elise Kang. She glided through the airport like she owned it, which in a way she did. Senator Kang's daughter, educated at Oxford, fluent in 5 languages, and beautiful enough to stop traffic. She was everything Kade needed to cement his new life. "First class is this way," Elise said, guiding him toward the exclusive lounge. "Father's assistant confirmed our seats. We'll have the private cabin to ourselves once we board." "Your father really went all out," Kade replied, adjusting his Tom Ford suit. "I'm almost nervous to meet him in Geneva." Elise laughed. "I sound like crystal chimes." "Don't be. He's thrilled about the engagement. You're exactly the kind of man he wanted for me. Ambitious, sophisticated, self-made." If only she knew how he'd really made himself, Kade thought. They settled into plush, leather chairs in the lounge. Elise immediately pulled out her tablet to review documents for their trip. She was always working, always planning 3 steps ahead. It was one of the things Kade loved about her. She was as strategic as he was. A waiter appeared with champagne. Compliments of Senator Kang's office. "Sir, madam." Kade raised his glass. "To new beginnings." "To the future," Elise corrected, clinking her glass against his. That's when Kade's phone buzzed. He glanced down at the screen and felt his blood turn to ice. It was a photo from his lieutenant, Park. The image showed a gravestone, flowers wilted around its base. The name carved into the stone read, "Sienna Cross, 1992 to 2023. Below the photo, Park had typed, "Confirmed. She's been dead for 2 years. You're safe." Safe. Kade deleted the message immediately, his finger moving on autopilot. He'd ordered that confirmation 3 times in the past month. Ever since he'd started having the dreams again. Dreams of the Kingston warehouse, of flames climbing walls, of Sienna's eyes as she fell. "Everything okay?" Elise asked, looking up from her tablet. "Just business," Kade lied smoothly. "Nothing that can't wait." But his hand trembled slightly as he raised the champagne glass to his lips. That's when he saw her. Sienna Cross, walking past the windows of the lounge, alive and impossibly real. The glass slipped from his fingers and shattered. The impossible moment. In the bathroom, Kade splashed cold water on his face. His reflection stared back at him. Sharp cheekbones, expensive haircut. A man who had everything under control. Except right now, he looked like he was about to have a heart attack. He pulled out his phone with shaking hands and called Park. "Boss." Park answered on the first ring. "What's wrong?" "Run Sienna Cross again," Kate hissed into the phone. "Right now. Every database. I don't care what it costs." "Boss, I'm literally looking at her death certificate right now," Park said, confused. "Car accident, Cape Town, March 2023. Body identified through dental records." "What's going on?" "Then who the hell did I just see?" Kate demanded. Silence on the other end. You saw her?" Park's voice dropped. "That's impossible." "I know it's impossible." Kate snapped. "That's why I'm calling you. Check everything. Facial recognition, passport records, flight manifests. Someone who looks exactly like her is at Incheon Airport right now." "On it," Park said. "Give me 10 minutes." Kate hung up and gripped the edge of the sink. His knuckles turned white. 4 years ago, he'd watched the Kingston warehouse burn. He'd barely escaped with his life. The weapons deal had gone catastrophically wrong. Cartel ambush, explosions, total chaos. He'd seen Sienna get shot, watched her fall into the flames. He tried to reach her, but the fire was too intense. He'd been forced to run or die with her. 2 months later, they found her body in Kingston Harbor. Burned beyond recognition, but identified through dental records. Kate had attended a private memorial with only 3 other people present. He'd mourned her. Or had he? Truthfully, he'd been too busy using the encrypted drive he'd found in the warehouse wreckage. The drive containing Senator Kang's entire criminal network. The drive he'd used to blackmail his way into this new life. A knock on the bathroom door made him jump. "Kade!" Elise's voice, concerned. "Are you all right? You've been in there for 10 minutes." He dried his face quickly and opened the door. Elise stood there, and she wasn't alone. Next to her stood the woman from across the terminal. Up close, there was no doubt. Older, maybe. Hair different. But those eyes. Kade would know those eyes anywhere. "Kade, this is Maya Reeves," Elise said brightly. "She's a documentary filmmaker. I found her sitting alone, and we got to talking. She's doing a piece on political dynasties. Isn't that fascinating?" Maya extended her hand, a slight smile playing on her lips. "Kade Yoon," she said, her voice exactly as he remembered it. "I wasn't sure you'd recognize me." Kade's mouth opened, but no sound came out. "Are you okay?" Maya asked, tilting her head with false concern. "You look pale." Elise touched his arm. "He's been feeling off all morning. Maybe the champagne." "Maybe," Kade managed to croak out. He didn't take Maya's extended hand. "Well, I was just telling Elise about my documentary," Maya continued, dropping her hand casually. "I'm fascinated by how political families maintain power across generations. Senator Kang's career is particularly interesting. 30 years in office, multiple scandals survived, and now his daughter is marrying a successful entrepreneur. It's a perfect case study." Elise beamed. "I invited Maya to join us in the lounge. She has such insightful questions. And she's flying to Geneva, too. What are the odds?" Kate's blood turned to ice for the second time that morning. "Geneva," he repeated. "Business conference," Maya said smoothly. "Though I'll confess, when Elise mentioned your engagement celebration there, I got curious. Would you mind if I asked you both a few questions? Just informal, for background research." "We'd love to help," Elise said before Kade could object. They walked back to the lounge together, Elise chatting animatedly with Maya about her father's political career. Kade trailed behind, his mind racing. This was impossible. Sienna was dead. He'd seen the proof. Unless someone had faked her death. But who? And why? In the lounge, Maya settled into a chair across from them, pulling out a small recording device. "Do you mind?" she asked Elise. "Not at all." Maya pressed record. "So, Elise, your father has been described as one of Korea's most resilient politicians. How does it feel to grow up in that shadow?" Elise launched into a practiced answer about public service and family legacy. Kade barely heard it. He was too focused on Maya, on Sienna, watching her every movement. She caught his eye once, and the corner of her mouth quirked up. It was subtle, barely noticeable, but Kade saw it. She was enjoying this. "And Kade," Maya turned to him suddenly. "You're self-made, correct? Built your fortune from nothing." "That's right," Kate said carefully. Fascinating. What business were you in before tech investments? Import-export, Kate lied. Boring stuff. I doubt anything about you is boring, Maya said. Her eyes locked on his. Elise's phone rang. Oh, excuse me. It's Father's office. I need to take this. She stood and walked a few steps away. The moment Elise was out of earshot, Maya leaned forward. You look like you've seen a ghost, Kade, she whispered. You're supposed to be dead, he hissed back. Funny, Maya, Sienna, replied, her smile vanishing. I thought the same thing about you. Before Kade could respond, she slid a sleek metal briefcase onto the table between them. She didn't open it. What do you want? Kade demanded quietly. The same thing you wanted in Kingston, Sienna said. To survive. She pulled out her phone and placed it on the table, screen facing up. A video file was queued, ready to play. I'm not watching anything here, Kade said. Then watch it on the plane, Sienna replied. We're seated together. Business class, 7A and 7B. Kate's stomach dropped. I'm in first class. Sienna's smile returned, cold and victorious. Not anymore. Check your boarding pass. With trembling fingers, Kade pulled up his boarding pass on his phone. The seat assignment had changed. 7B, business class. How did you? See you at the gate, partner, Sienna said, standing up. She grabbed the briefcase and walked away, disappearing into the crowd of travelers. Elise returned, tucking her phone into her purse. Where did Maya go? She asked. She had to leave, Kade said, his mind reeling. Elise studied him with those sharp, intelligent eyes. She left quickly. Did you two know each other? What did Kade discover in that briefcase? And what's on that video? Drop your predictions in the comments below. And if you're hooked already, smash that like button. No, Kade lied, forcing his voice to stay steady. She reminded me of someone. Elise's eyes narrowed slightly. Someone from before. The question hung in the air like a blade. It doesn't matter, Kade said, looking away. They're dead. Elise sat down slowly, crossing her legs with deliberate precision. The dead have a way of coming back, don't they? Kate's head snapped toward her. What does that mean? Nothing, Elise said, but her tone was strange. Knowing, calculated. Just something my father always says. He believes nothing ever truly disappears. Not money, not power, not secrets. She paused. Not people. Before Kade could respond, the announcement came over the speakers. Attention passengers on flight AK 447 to Geneva. Boarding will begin in 30 minutes. First-class passengers may proceed to the gate. Elise stood, gathering her things with practiced efficiency. We should head to the gate. I want to get settled before takeoff. But Kade's mind was already somewhere else. He needed to call Park again, needed to understand how Sienna, or whoever that woman was, had changed his seat assignment. More importantly, he needed to know what was on that video. You go ahead, Kade said. I need to make a quick call. Business matter. Elise hesitated, studying his face. Kade, are you sure everything's all right? You've been acting strange ever since. I'm fine, he snapped, then immediately softened his tone. Sorry. Just pre-wedding jitters, I guess. Elise didn't look convinced, but she nodded. Don't take too long. The gate is quite a walk. She kissed his cheek and headed toward the terminal. The moment she was gone, Kate's phone rang. Park. Boss, you need to hear this. Park said urgently. Talk to me. I ran everything. Facial recognition, immigration records, flight databases. There's no Sienna Cross anywhere. But there is a Maya Reeves. Documentary filmmaker, British passport, clean record going back 3 years. 3 years. Kate's stomach churned. That's right after Sienna supposedly died. Exactly. And here's where it gets weird. Maya Reeves's first known appearance was in Cape Town. Same city where Sienna Cross died. She rented an apartment there, established credit, built an entire identity. Someone created a new person, Kate said. A ghost, Park agreed. But boss, there's more. I pulled Maya Reeves's financial records. She's been receiving regular payments from an offshore account. Guess who that account is connected to? Kate's blood ran cold. Senator Kong. Bingo. Monthly deposits. 50,000 euros each, for the past 2 years. Whatever she is, whoever she is, the senator's been paying her. Kate's mind raced. Sienna was alive. Senator Kong had been paying her. And now she was on his flight to Geneva, with some kind of video evidence and a briefcase full of who knows what. Park, I need you to do something else, Kate said quickly. Check the passenger manifest for my flight. See who else is traveling to Geneva. Already on it, Park replied. Give me 2 minutes. While he waited, Kate pulled up his boarding pass again. 7B, business class. He tried to change it back through the airline app, but it was locked. The system wouldn't let him modify it. Someone with serious access had made this change. Park came back on the line, his voice tense. Boss, you've got company on that flight. 3 names popped up as red flags. 2 are known associates of Senator Kong, his personal security detail. And the third? Park paused. The third is listed as diplomatic security, but I can't find any record of what diplomat they're protecting. A cleaner, Kate said, using the underworld term for professional assassin. Most likely. Boss, I don't like this. You're walking into something. I know, Kate said grimly. But I don't have a choice. If I don't get on that plane, Elise will know something's wrong. And if Senator Kong suspects I'm onto him, I'm dead anyway. Then what's the play? I don't know yet, Kate admitted. But I need you ready. If I send you a signal, I need extraction options. Geneva, Munich, anywhere in between. You got it, boss. Be careful. Kate hung up and started walking toward the gate. His mind was spinning with possibilities. Sienna was alive. But was she working for Senator Kong? Or against him? And what did she want from Kate? The video. Whatever was on that video, it was important enough for her to risk revealing herself. At the gate, Kate arrived at gate 47 to find Elise already in line for first-class boarding. She waved at him, but there was something in her expression, concern? Suspicion? He couldn't tell. He joined her, and they handed their boarding passes to the gate agent. I'm sorry, Mr. Yoon, the agent said, looking at her screen with confusion. There seems to be an issue with your seat assignment. You've been moved to business class. I can see that, Kate said, keeping his voice level. Can you change it back? The agent typed rapidly. I'm afraid first class is completely full. There's been a last-minute booking that. What last-minute booking? Elise interrupted. We reserved these seats months ago. I apologize, ma'am. It appears to be a diplomatic priority. The system won't allow me to override it. Diplomatic priority. That confirmed it. Senator Kong was behind this. Elise turned to Kade, and he could see the calculation in her eyes. It's fine, she said smoothly. We'll just have to make do. The flight's only 9 hours. But Kate saw something else in her expression. She wasn't surprised. She'd expected this. Actually, Kate said carefully, maybe you should take first class. I'll be fine in business. Don't be ridiculous, Elise said, linking her arm through his. We're traveling together. Miss Kong, your seat in first class is still available, the agent offered. Then reassign me to business class as well, Elise said firmly. Put me next to my fiancée. The agent typed again, then frowned. I'm sorry, but the seats adjacent to Mr. Yoon's are also fully booked. I can put you 3 rows behind him, or you can keep your first-class seat. Elise's mask slipped for just a moment. Frustration? Anger? Then it was gone, replaced by her polished smile. Fine, she said. I'll stay in first class. But Kade, come visit me once we're in the air. Of course, Kade said, though his instincts were screaming that something was very wrong. They boarded separately. Elise disappeared into the first-class cabin, while Kade made his way to business class, seat 7B. Sienna was already there, seated in 7A by the window. She looked up as he approached, her expression unreadable. Right on time, she said quietly. Kade stowed his carry-on and sat down, his jaw tight. What the hell is going on? Not here, Sienna whispered. Wait until we're in the air. Too many ears. Kade glanced around. The cabin was filling up quickly. 2 rows ahead, he spotted one of the men Park had identified, Senator Kang's security. The man caught Kade's eye and nodded politely, but there was nothing friendly about it. The message was clear. They were being watched. This is getting intense, right? If you're on the edge of your seat, hit that like button and share this with someone who loves a good thriller. And comment below, do you think Sienna is working for or against Senator Kang? Let's hear your theories. 30,000 feet. The plane took off smoothly. Kade kept his eyes forward, but his entire body was tense. Elise had sent him 2 text messages already, both asking if he was comfortable, both feeling like surveillance. Once they reached cruising altitude and the seatbelt sign turned off, Sienna pulled out her phone and a pair of headphones. She handed them to Kade. "Watch this," she said simply. Kade put on the headphones. Sienna tapped the screen, and a video began to play. The footage was grainy but clear enough, security camera footage from the Kingston warehouse. But this was an angle Kade had never seen before. The timestamp showed it was from 30 minutes before the meeting that went wrong. In the video, Senator Kang's men, Kade recognized them now, were moving through the warehouse systematically. They were placing something at various points around the structure. Charges. Explosive charges. Kade's hands gripped the armrests. They'd rigged the warehouse to explode before the meeting even started. The video continued. Another team arrived, medical personnel by their uniforms. They set up a staging area in an alley behind the warehouse. Then they waited. The timestamp jumped forward. Now it showed the moment everything went wrong. The cartel ambush, the gunfire, the explosions. Kade saw himself in the footage, running through the chaos. And there was Sienna. She'd been shot, falling backward into the flames, just as Kade remembered. But then the video showed something Kade had never seen. The medical team rushed in. They pulled Sienna from the fire, her body unconscious but clearly alive. They carried her into a vehicle, not an ambulance, but a black van with medical markings. And then they drove away. The video ended. Kade pulled off the headphones, his hands shaking. "He took you." "For 2 years," Sienna confirmed, her voice hollow. "Cape Town facility. Medical experiments, interrogations, psychological conditioning. He wanted to know where you hid the drive." "The drive," Kade breathed. "The encrypted drive with all of Senator Kang's criminal network. But the body they found, the death certificate." "A Jane Doe from the harbor," Sienna said bitterly. "He gave her my identity, gave me a new one. Maya Reeves was born the day Sienna Cross died. I became his ghost, someone who never existed, doing work that never happened." Kade felt sick. While he'd been building his new life, mourning Sienna, and using her supposed death as leverage to enter the Kang family, she'd been alive. Imprisoned. Tortured. "Why didn't you contact me?" he asked, though he was afraid of the answer. Sienna turned to look at him directly. "Because I wasn't sure if you left me there on purpose." The accusation hit like a physical blow. "I thought you were dead," Kade insisted. "I saw you fall. I tried to reach you, but the fire—" "Did you?" Sienna interrupted. "Or did you see your opportunity and take it? You had the drive. You had everything you needed to disappear and start over. Why would you come back for a dead woman?" "Because Kade stopped. What had he felt for Sienna? Partnership? Loyalty? Something more? He honestly didn't know anymore." "Save it," Sienna said, pulling out her phone again. "We don't have time for old feelings. There's more you need to see." She showed him another video. This one showed a meeting, Kade and Senator Kang, 3 days before the Kingston job. Kade's blood turned to ice. He remembered this meeting. Kang had brought him in to finalize the details, to confirm the weapons transfer. But in the video, their conversation was damning. Senator Kang's voice came through clearly. "There may be complications with the cartel. If things go wrong, make sure you have an exit strategy. Protect yourself first." Kade's voice responded, and Sienna— "Your partner knows the risks," Kang replied. "Everyone does. In this business, you look out for yourself." The video ended. "That's out of context," Kade said desperately. "He was just warning me." "He was telling you the ambush was coming," Sienna said coldly. "He was telling you to make sure you were the only one who got out alive. And you did exactly that." "No, I didn't know he was going to. Didn't you?" Sienna's eyes were hard. "You had a bad feeling that day. I remember. You kept checking exits, kept positioning yourself near the doors. You knew something was wrong." Kade couldn't deny it. He had felt something off that day. But he convinced himself it was just paranoia, just the normal anxiety before a big deal. "I didn't know you'd be left behind," he said quietly. I swear I didn't know. Sienna studied his face. Maybe you didn't. Or maybe you did, and you've convinced yourself otherwise. Either way, it doesn't matter now. Then why show me this? Why come back? Because Senator Kong isn't done, Sienna said. He's been controlling you for 4 years, Kade. Slowly bringing you into the family, making you dependent on his influence, on his connections. And now that you're about to marry his daughter, now that you're completely entwined with the Kong dynasty, he's ready to eliminate you. Eliminate me? Why? I've done everything he wanted. Because you have the drive, Sienna said. You always have. And as long as you're alive, you're a threat. The wedding in Geneva isn't a celebration, it's a trap. Kade's mind raced. Everything clicked into place. The sudden change of venue to Geneva instead of Seoul. The diplomatic security on the flight. The way Elise had insisted on this specific date, this specific location. Elise, he said. Does she know? Sienna's expression darkened. What do you think? Before Kade could respond, a flight attendant appeared. Can I get you anything to drink? She asked cheerfully. Coffee, Sienna said. Black. Whiskey, Kade said. Double. The attendant walked away. Kade leaned closer to Sienna. What's your plan? Why risk revealing yourself? Because I want out, Sienna said. I want my life back. And the only way that happens is if we take down Senator Kong together. How? He's one of the most powerful men in Korea. He has politicians, police, military, everyone in his pocket. Not everyone, Sienna said. She reached under her seat and pulled out the sleek metal briefcase. She placed it between them, finally opening it. Inside were documents, falsified passports, bank cards, phones, and something else, a small black external drive. Is that a copy of everything? Sienna confirmed. Everything Senator Kong did to me. Medical records, interrogation videos, financial transactions. Everything he's done for the past 4 years. Combined with your drive, we have enough to destroy him completely. And then what? We go public. He'll kill us before we can. Which is why we don't land in Geneva, Sienna said. Kade stared at her. What are you talking about? This flight has a connection in Dubai, Sienna explained. 2-hour layover. We disappear during the transfer. I have contacts there, people who can get us out before Kang's people even realize we're gone. You want me to run? I want us to survive, Sienna corrected. Stay on this plane, and you'll be arrested the moment you land. Kong has fabricated evidence tying you to Kingston, to the weapons deal, to everything. You'll be thrown in a Swiss prison while he plays the heartbroken future father-in-law. Meanwhile, I'll be eliminated as a witness. And Elise! Sienna's eyes hardened. Elise will play the heartbroken fiancée. She'll inherit everything, consolidate power, and continue her father's empire. She's not your victim, Kade. She's his accomplice. Kade felt like the walls were closing in. You don't know that. Elise isn't. Isn't what? Ruthless? Calculating. She's a Kong. Sienna leaned back. But if you don't believe me, why don't you ask her yourself? What? Go to first class, Sienna said. Talk to your fiancée. Look her in the eyes and ask her if she knows what her father did to me. Ask her if she knows about the trap waiting in Geneva. Then come back and tell me I'm wrong. Kade stood up, his heart pounding. And if she doesn't know, then we save her too, Sienna said. But Kade, I've spent 2 years learning how the Kangs operate. They don't have innocent family members. They have accomplices and victims. Nothing in between. First-class confrontation. Kade walked through the business-class cabin toward first class. The security guard watched him pass but didn't move to stop him. The first-class cabin was quiet, luxurious. Elise sat in her private pod, working on her tablet. She looked up and smiled as he approached. Kade, is business class terrible? Do you want to switch? I can talk to the crew. Who's Maya Reeves? Kade interrupted, sliding into the seat beside her. Elisa's smile didn't falter, but something flickered in her eyes. The filmmaker? I told you. No more lies, Elise, Kade said quietly. Who is she really? Elise set down her tablet carefully. What are you talking about? She's someone I used to know. Someone who died 4 years ago. Except she didn't die, did she? Your father kept her alive. Elisa's expression changed. The polished politician's daughter vanished, replaced by something harder, sharper. "We can't talk here," she whispered urgently. "Then where?" Elise glanced at a man sitting 3 rows ahead, the other security guard. Then back to Kade. "The back galley," she said quietly. 5 minutes. "Come alone." She stood and walked toward the rear of the plane. The security guard didn't follow. Kade waited exactly 5 minutes, watching the cabin. Then he stood and made his way to the back galley. Elise was waiting, and she was shaking. Oh my God, what is Elise about to reveal? Is she the victim or the villain? Drop your predictions now. And if you're loving this twisted tale, subscribe so you don't miss the explosive conclusion. "I didn't know she was alive," Elise said immediately, her voice trembling. "I swear to you, Kade, I didn't know." Kade studied her face, looking for the lie. "But you knew about Kingston." Elise's eyes closed. When she opened them, they were filled with something Kade had never seen before, fear. "Not until 6 months ago," she admitted. "I found files in my father's office. I was looking for documents about the wedding venue, and I found everything. Everything. Everything he did. Kingston, the weapons deals, the offshore accounts." Her hands were shaking now. "The interrogations, She stopped, covering her mouth. "Oh God, what he did to that woman." "Her name is Sienna," Kate said coldly. "I know. I saw the medical records. I saw the videos." Elise grabbed his arms desperately. "Kade, I wanted to tell you, but I didn't know how. I didn't know if you were part of it, if you knew what he was." "So you said nothing?" "I said nothing because I was building a case." Elise pulled out her phone with shaking hands. She opened an encrypted folder and showed him files, dozens of them. Bank statements, communication logs, video evidence. "That drive you have? The one you think contains my father's entire network?" Elise's voice dropped to a whisper. "It's only 30%. The rest is here. I've been documenting everything for 6 months. Every transaction, every political payoff, every assassination." Kade scrolled through the files, his mind reeling. "Why? Why would you do this?" "Because I want him destroyed," Elise said fiercely. "Because I'm tired of being part of this family's legacy of blood and corruption. Because I want out." She grabbed his face, forcing him to look at her. "The wedding in Geneva isn't my father's trap, it's mine. Swiss authorities, Interpol, Korean prosecutors, they're all waiting. The moment we land, my father will be arrested. But I need that drive to complete the evidence. I need everything." Kate pulled back. "And what happens to me in your plan?" "You get immunity," Elise said. "Full witness protection if you want it. Clean slate, new identity, everything. All you have to do is hand over the drive and testify. You expect me to believe you're doing this out of the goodness of your heart?" "No." Elise's laugh was bitter. "Believe that I'm doing it because I watched my father destroy people my entire life. Believe that I'm doing it because I'm terrified I'll become him if I don't stop him now." Kate wanted to believe her. God, he wanted to. But Sienna's words echoed in his mind. They don't have innocent family members. "If you wanted to bring down your father, you would have done it already," he said slowly. "This is something else." "You're right," Elise admitted, her voice breaking. "It is something else. It's me trying to save the man I love before my father kills him." "What? You think I don't know what's happening?" Elise's tears were real now. "You think I don't know you're on borrowed time? My father has been planning this for months. The moment we land in Geneva, you'll be arrested on fabricated charges. I'll play the heartbroken fiancée, inherit everything, and consolidate the empire. That's his plan. And yours." "Mine was to beat him to it," Elise said. "To arrest him first, protect you, and burn the whole dynasty to the ground." Before Kate could respond, the galley curtain swept open. Sienna stood there, and she was holding something in her hand, a small device that looked like a phone. "Touching story," Sienna said coldly. "But you're lying." Elise's expression hardened instantly. "Excuse me. If you wanted to bring down your father, you'd have done it already," Sienna said, echoing Kate's earlier thought. "This is something else entirely." She stepped into the galley, closing the curtain behind her. Then she pulled out a tablet and showed them financial documents. "These are your accounts, Elise. Offshore holdings in the Cayman Islands, Switzerland, Singapore. Care to guess where the money came from? Elise paled. That's right, Sienna continued. Every dollar your father made through his criminal network, drugs, weapons, human trafficking, it all flows to you eventually. You're not his victim. You're his heir. Those accounts were set up without my knowledge, Elise protested. Were they? Sienna pulled up more documents. These show you accessing them regularly. Transferring funds, making investments. You've been profiting from your father's crimes for years. I was documenting them. Elise shot back. Building evidence. Or securing your inheritance, Sienna said coldly. Here's what I think is really happening. Your father gets arrested, convicted, everything seized, except these accounts that are in your name only. You inherit a billion-dollar criminal empire, and Kade here takes the fall as your father's accomplice. You play the innocent daughter who knew nothing, marry someone else, and continue the dynasty under new management. That's insane. Elise looked at Kade desperately. Kade, you have to believe me. I would never. The plane shuddered violently. The galley lights flickered. Over the intercom, the captain's voice came through, tense. Ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing some turbulence. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts. That's not turbulence, Sienna said grimly. Another shudder, harder this time. Then an announcement that made Kade's blood run cold. This is the captain. We have a medical emergency on board. We're diverting to Munich airport. Please remain calm. Medical emergency, Kade repeated. That's not. It's an intercept, Sienna finished. Your father moved early. Elise's face went white. No. We're still 2 hours from Geneva. He was supposed to wait until. She stopped, realizing what she'd just admitted. Kade stared at her. Until what, Elise? Until we landed and walked into your trap. Our trap, Elise insisted. Kade, you have to understand. The galley curtain opened again. This time, it was the man Kade had noticed in first class, the one Park had identified as a cleaner. He was tall, severe-looking, with cold eyes that had seen too much death. Miss Kong, he said politely. Mr. Yoon, the captain requests you return to your seats. Immediately. His hand rested near his jacket, where Kade knew a weapon was concealed. Of course, Elise said smoothly, her politician's mask sliding back into place. We were just. Now, the cleaner interrupted, his tone making it clear this wasn't a request. They had no choice. Wait. Are you breathing right now? Because I'm not. If this story has you hooked, you better hit that subscribe button right now. And drop a comment. Team Elise or Team Sienna? Who's telling the truth? Go. Trapped at altitude. They walked back through the cabin, Kade, Elise, and Sienna, with the cleaner following behind. Other passengers were looking concerned now, whispering about the medical emergency. Kade caught Sienna's eye as they separated, her to business class, him supposedly to first class. But as Kade moved to follow Elise, the cleaner's hand gripped his arm. Business class, Mr. Yoon, he said quietly. Your seat is in business class. I was just. Your seat, the cleaner repeated, guiding him firmly toward business class. Kade had no choice. He returned to seat 7B, with Sienna already buckled into 7A. The cleaner took a seat directly across the aisle, watching them. 40 minutes to Munich, Sienna whispered. And then what? Then we're dead, Kade whispered back. When we land, Kang's people will take us. No witnesses, no evidence, nothing. Not if we don't land, Sienna said. She pulled out her phone, the device she'd been holding in the galley. What is that? Kade asked. Dead man switch, Sienna replied quietly. Every hour, I have to input a code. If I don't, everything, Kingston, Kang's network, Elisa's finances, your blackmail, all of it, gets sent to every major news outlet in the world. CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, Reuters. Everything. Kade's eyes widened. That exposes both of us. Mutually assured destruction, Sienna said. It's the only leverage we have. They kill us. The world learns everything. They can't let that happen. You'd really destroy yourself. Sienna looked at him, and her expression was hollow. Kade, I've been dead for 2 years. I have nothing left to lose. But you do. And so does Elise. She pulled out her phone and typed a message. Kate watched as she sent it to Elise's number. 30 seconds later, Elise appeared from first class. The cleaner stood to block her, but she showed him something on her phone, some kind of authorization. He let her pass. Elise sat in the empty seat in front of them, turning to face Kate and Sienna through the gap. "You want to talk?" Elise said quietly. "Let's talk, because we have 35 minutes before we land, and then we're all dead." "Not all of us," Sienna said coldly. "You'll survive. Senator Kong always protects his own." "You think I'm protected?" Elise's laugh was bitter. "My father stopped seeing me as a daughter years ago. I'm an asset, a tool, and when assets stop being useful, they get eliminated too." She pulled out her tablet again, showing them something new, a file labeled Elise Contingency. Inside were detailed plans for Elise's accidental death after the wedding. A car accident in the Swiss Alps. The inheritance would flow to Senator Kang's nephew instead. "I found this 2 weeks ago," Elise said, her voice shaking. "That's when I knew. He's not just eliminating you, Kate. He's eliminating both of us. The wedding was supposed to legitimize his empire, make him respectable. But he never intended for either of us to enjoy it." Kate felt sick. "So what now? We all just die. Or we all survive," Elise said. "Together." "How?" Sienna demanded. "Your father has people on this plane. He has authorities waiting in Munich. He controls everything." "Not everything," Elise said. She looked at Sienna directly. "He doesn't control what you just threatened to release. That dead man switch, it's real." "Every hour," Sienna confirmed. "I missed the check-in. Everything goes public. Then we use it," Elise said. "We negotiate." "Negotiate what?" Kate asked. "Our freedom," Elise said. "All three of us. Sienna gets immunity and a real new life. Kate hands over the drive and gets witness protection. I provide my evidence and disappear from the Kong family forever. Senator Kong goes down, but we all walk away. And how do we execute this in?" Sienna checked her watch. 33 minutes. "We don't land in Munich," Kate said slowly, an idea forming. "What?" Both women looked at him. "We stage a credible bomb threat," Kate explained, his mind racing. "Force the plane back to international airspace. Once we're there, we live stream everything. Evidence, testimonies, confessions. We broadcast it to multiple news outlets simultaneously. By the time we land anywhere, the story is too public for Kong to suppress." "That's insane," Sienna said. "You have a better idea?" Kate challenged. "Actually," Elise said slowly, "I do." She showed them her phone. A recording app was had been running. "I've been streaming everything to a private server since we took off," Elise said. "Everything. Our conversations, the documents, Sienna's testimony, the contingency plan. It's all backed up on encrypted servers." "Why would you do that?" Kate demanded. "Because I needed insurance," Elise admitted. "Insurance in case either of you betrayed me. But now we can use it. I just need your authorization to make it public. Both of you." She showed them the controls. One button to publish everything. But it required 3 simultaneous authentications: fingerprint, facial recognition, and voice confirmation. "It needs all 3 of us," Elise said. "So none of us can betray the others. We all go public together, or none of us do." Sienna studied the screen. "And once it's public, Senator Kong can't touch us," Elise said. "The whole world will be watching. Killing us would just confirm everything. His only option is to let us testify and hope for a lenient sentence." "He won't accept that," Kate said. "He'll fight." "Let him fight," Elise said fiercely. "In court, in public, where he can't just make people disappear. That's the only way any of us survive this." Kate looked at Sienna. She looked back at him. Then both looked at Elise. 3 people bound by lies, betrayal, and survival. "On 3, Kate said quietly. They positioned their phones together, fingers hovering over the screen. 1, Elise said. 2, Sienna added. 3. Kate finished. All 3 pressed simultaneously. Their phones vibrated. Authentication confirmed. The upload began. For 10 seconds, nothing happened. Then Elise's phone started buzzing frantically. News notifications, social media alerts, messages flooding in. Sienna's phone too. And Kade's. The story was already spreading. Headlines forming in real time. Breaking. Korean senator's criminal empire exposed. Political dynasty collapses in mid-air expose. Torture, murder, corruption. The fall of Senator Kong. The cleaner across the aisle stood up abruptly, his phone pressed to his ear. His face had gone pale. He looked at them, 3 people who had just destroyed his employer's entire world. Then he sat back down. Because there was nothing else he could do. Munich landing. The plane touched down at Munich airport 30 minutes later. The moment the wheels hit the tarmac, Kate could see the chaos through the window. News trucks lined the perimeter. Federal police vehicles, Interpol agents, international media, everyone was there. "Ladies and gentlemen," the captain announced, his voice shaken, "we ask for your patience as authorities board the aircraft." The cleaner was the first one removed, handcuffed, and led away by German federal police. The 2 security guards followed. Then Kade, Sienna, and Elise were escorted off separately. Different agents, different vehicles, different secure locations. Kate caught one last glimpse of Sienna as she was led away. She didn't look back. Elise, however, turned. For just a moment, their eyes met. She mouthed 2 words. "Thank you." Then she was gone. Interrogation, 48 hours later. Kate sat in a secure Interpol facility in Munich. He'd been questioned for 12 hours straight, had handed over the encrypted drive, and had cooperated with everything they asked. The news was still exploding globally. Senator Kong had been arrested in Seoul within 2 hours of landing. The Korean National Assembly had moved to strip him of his position. International arrest warrants were being issued for dozens of his associates. It was over. Agent Schmidt, the lead Interpol investigator, sat across from Kade. "You're free to go, Mr. Yoon," Schmidt said. "Witness protection has been arranged. New identity, new location, financial support. You'll be relocated within 48 hours. What about the others?" Kade asked. "Miss Cross, or Miss Reeves, whatever name she's using, has been granted asylum in Germany. She'll be testifying via video link from a secure location. We've also provided medical and psychological support for what she endured." "And Elise?" Schmidt's expression shifted. "Miss Kong is a more complicated case. She's being positioned as a whistleblower in Korean media. Some want her prosecuted. Others see her as a hero. She's returned to Seoul to navigate the political fallout. So she walks away clean," Kate said bitterly. "She cooperated fully," Schmidt said. "And her evidence was crucial. Without it, we couldn't have built the case against her father. The prosecutors decided the public benefit outweighed potential charges. Of course they did," Kate thought. Elise had played it perfectly. She destroyed her father, secured her position, and emerged as a reformer. "What happens now?" Kate asked. "Now you disappear," Schmidt said. "New life, clean slate. You're one of the lucky ones, Mr. Yoon." Lucky, Kate thought. He'd lost everything. His business, his identity, his life. But he was alive. That had to count for something. 3 days later, Munich airport. Kate stood in a secure terminal for protected witnesses. He had one bag, one new passport, and a ticket to a city he'd never heard of. He was about to board when he heard her voice. "Kade!" He turned. Sienna walked toward him. She looked different, healthier, her eyes clearer. She was wearing casual clothes, her hair down, looking more like the woman he remembered from 4 years ago. "They told me you were leaving today," she said. "You too." "Different flight, different destination," she confirmed. "They won't tell me where you're going." "Security protocol." They stood there, 2 people who had saved each other twice now. "Do you think we were ever really partners?" Sienna asked quietly. "Or was it always just survival?" "I think we saved each other," Kade said. "Twice. That has to mean something. Will you be happy?" Sienna asked. "Wherever you're going." "I don't know if happiness is in the cards for people like us," Kade admitted. "Then what is?" "Peace," Kade said. "Maybe." Sienna nodded. Then, to his surprise, she hugged him. It was brief, but genuine. "Goodbye, Kade," she whispered. "Goodbye, Sienna." She pulled back and walked toward her own gate. She didn't look back. Kade watched her go, then turned toward his own flight. Oh my God! Is this really the end? Or is there more? Stay tuned. Don't you dare leave now. Hit that like button and drop a comment. What do you think happens next? Asterisk asterisk. Kade boarded the flight alone. The plane was half empty, and he took his window seat in the back, staring out at the Munich skyline. In 72 hours, his entire life had been dismantled and rebuilt. The man who had walked into Incheon Airport 5 days ago no longer existed. As the plane taxied toward the runway, Kade pulled out the single personal item they'd allowed him to keep, a burner phone with no contacts, no history, just emergency numbers for his handlers. It buzzed. A no number. Kade almost didn't answer, but something made him swipe to accept. Don't get comfortable in New Zealand, a voice said. Elise, how did you get this number? Kade demanded, his voice low. I have resources you don't know about, Elise replied. Listen to me carefully. My father escaped custody this morning. Kade's blood turned to ice. What? He had help inside the Seoul detention facility. 3 guards killed. 2 prosecutors missing. He's in the wind, Kade. And he knows where you're going. That's impossible. This is a protected relocation. Nobody knows except the people he still has on his payroll, Elise interrupted. He spent 30 years building networks. You think they all just disappeared because he got arrested? He's coming for you. For all of us. The plane began to accelerate down the runway. Where are you? Kade asked. Still in Seoul. Under protection, but I don't know how long that'll last. I'm sending you something right now. Check your phone. A file arrived. Security footage from the Seoul facility. It showed Senator Kong walking out calmly, surrounded by armed men. No panic, no rush. It was coordinated, professional. And at the end of the video, he looked directly at the camera and smiled. The message was clear. This wasn't over. Sienna, Kade asked urgently. I don't know. They won't tell me where she is. Security protocol. But Kade, if he knows where you are, he knows where she is too. Kade finished. The plane lifted off. What are we supposed to do? Kade asked. Run, Elise said. Again. Or what? There was a long pause. When Elise spoke again, her voice had changed. It was the voice of a woman making a choice. Or stop running, she said. Meet me in Seoul. Both of you. We end this. Together. For real this time. That's suicide, Kade said. Maybe, Elise agreed. But I'm tired of being his daughter. I'm tired of living in fear. And I think you are too. She was right. Kade had spent 4 years running from his past, building a new identity, hiding. And now he'd have to do it all over again. How many times could a person reinvent themselves before there was nothing left? I'll think about it, Kade said. Don't think too long, Elise replied. He's already moving. You have maybe 48 hours before he finds you. She hung up. Kade stared at his phone. Then he made a decision. He pressed the emergency contact for his Interpol handler. Agent Schmidt, the voice answered. I need to talk to Sienna Cross, Kade said. Right now. That's not protocol, Mr. Yoon. You're both in separate protection. Senator Kong escaped, Kade interrupted. And he's coming for all of us. Check your secure channels. You'll see. Silence. Then typing. Skice, Schmidt muttered in German. How did you? Doesn't matter. I need to talk to Sienna. Now. Hold on. 2 minutes of silence. Then a different voice. Kade. Sienna. He's out, Kade said without preamble. Kong escaped. And he knows where we are. He heard her sharp intake of breath. Then we run. Separate directions. He can't chase all of us. Yes, he can, Kade said. He has the resources, the network, the motivation. We can run for the rest of our lives, or we can fight. Fight! Sienna's laugh was harsh. You want to fight a man who survived 30 years in the most corrupt political system in Asia? A man who faked my death and tortured me for 2 years? How exactly do we fight that? Together, Kade said. You, me, and Elise. We go back to Seoul. We finish what we started. That's insane. So is running forever, Kade countered. Sienna, you spent 2 years as his prisoner. You want to spend the rest of your life as his prey. Another long silence. What's the play? Sienna asked finally. I don't know yet, Kate admitted. But Elise is still in Seoul. She has resources, connections, access. And we have something Kong doesn't expect. What's that? Each other, Kate said. He thinks he broke us. He thinks we'll scatter, hide, turn on each other. Let's prove him wrong. 8 months later, the truth. The official story said that Senator Kong died in a shootout with international authorities 3 months after his escape. Interpol reported that he'd been cornered in a warehouse in Manila, refused to surrender, and was killed by sniper fire. His body was cremated immediately. No public funeral. No memorial. The Kong dynasty ended not with a trial, but with a bullet. Or so the world believed. Present day, a small coastal town in New Zealand. Kate stood on the deck of his small house, watching the sunset over the Pacific Ocean. He'd been living here under his new identity for 8 months now. Michael Chun, security consultant, quiet life, no trouble. He ran a legitimate business, advising companies on cybersecurity. It was boring, safe, exactly what he needed. But it was also empty. The mail arrived. One package, no return address. Kate's instincts flared. He approached it carefully, checked for wires, for weight distribution. But it seemed clean. Inside was a photo. Sienna on a beach somewhere tropical, genuinely smiling. She looked free, unburdened. On the back, written in her handwriting, "Found peace. Hope you do too. S." Kate smiled despite himself. She'd made it. Wherever she was alive and free. But there was something else in the package. A plane ticket to Seoul, dated for next week. And a handwritten note. If you want to try for real this time. No lies. E. Kate held both items. The photo of Sienna finding peace. The invitation from Elise to try again. He sat at his desk and opened his laptop. Typed, Korean National Assembly election results. The page loaded. There she was. Elise Kong, youngest congresswoman elected in Korean history. Reform platform, anti-corruption agenda, new generation of leadership. She'd done it. Taken her father's district, transformed it, made it her own. The photo showed her at her victory speech. She was smiling, but her eyes looked tired. The weight of what they'd done, what they'd survived, was still there. Kate stared at the plane ticket. Go back to Seoul. To Elise. To a life that would always be haunted by Senator Kang's ghost. Or stay here. In peace. In safety. Alone. He picked up his phone. Opened the browser. Booked a return flight for 2 weeks later. Just in case. Then he packed a single bag. Wait. Before we continue, if you're still watching this, you're a legend. Hit that subscribe button right now, because the ending is going to blow your mind. Comment. I'm still here. So I know you made it this far. Let's go. Seoul. Incheon Airport. Arrivals terminal. Kate walked through customs with his new passport. Michael Chun, Australian citizen, visiting for business. No flags. No alerts. He was clean. He emerged into the arrivals terminal, scanning the crowd. She'd said she'd be here, but he half expected. There. Elise stood near a coffee shop, dressed casually. Jeans, a simple sweater, hair down. Not the politician, not the senator's daughter. Just the woman. Their eyes met across the crowded terminal. Neither moved for a long moment. Then Elise smiled. Small, uncertain, real. Kate started walking toward her. 10 feet away. 5 feet. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. Kate stopped walking. Pulled out the phone. A message from a number he didn't recognize. Senator Kong escaped custody. He knows where you are. Run. S. Kate's heart stopped. He looked at the message. Then at Elise, who was still smiling, still waiting. She hadn't seen the message. Kate's mind raced. This couldn't be real. Kong was dead. Killed in Manila. There'd been reports, confirmations, even photos of the body. Unless none of it was real. Unless the escape, the death, all of it was fabricated. Kate looked at Elise again. Really looked. She was smiling, but there was something in her posture. Something expectant. Like she was waiting for him to make a choice. To trust her, or to run. Around them, the airport flowed with normal life. Families reuniting, business travelers rushing, couples embracing. Normal people living normal lives. Kade looked at his phone again. At Sienna's warning. Then at Elise. Then back at his phone. He thought about the past 4 years. About Kingston. About lies, about survival. About how many times he'd chosen fear over trust. He thought about Sienna, finally free on some beach somewhere. He thought about Elise, carrying the weight of her father's empire while trying to build something new. And he thought about himself. How many identities could one person have before they forgot who they really were? Kade made his choice. He deleted the message. Kept walking. Some games you win by refusing to play. Others, you win by finally choosing to stay. He reached Elise. You came, she said softly. I almost didn't, Kade admitted. What changed your mind? I'm tired of running, Kade said. Tired of looking over my shoulder. Tired of being afraid. Elise's smile widened. Good, because I need to tell you something. Kade tensed. What? My father isn't dead, Elise said calmly. The world tilted. What? He's not dead, Elise repeated. The Manila shooting was staged. He's alive. In custody, but alive. We needed him to think he'd escaped, to think he was safe. So he'd make mistakes, contact his network, move his money, expose everyone he'd been protecting. Kade stared at her. You used me as bait. I used all of us as bait, Elise corrected. Me included. For 8 months, we've been carefully documenting every move he made, every person he contacted. And now we have everything. His entire network, exposed and documented. And the message from Sienna. Elise pulled out her phone. Came from me. I needed to know if you'd trust me. If you'd come anyway. Kade felt anger rising. You tested me? Yes, Elise said simply. Because I needed to know if you were coming back for me, or just running from him. There's a difference. She was right. Kade realized with sudden clarity that she was absolutely right. So what now? He asked. Now we finish it, Elise said. My father goes on trial next month. Real trial, real evidence, real consequences. Sienna's testimony via secure video link. Your testimony. Mine. Everyone he ever hurt, finally getting justice. And after, Elise's expression softened. After we try. No lies, no games, no hidden agendas. Just 2 people trying to figure out if there's something real between them. If you want to. Kade thought about it. Really thought about it. I want to, he said finally. But I need to know one thing. Anything. Did you ever really love me? Or was I always just part of the plan? Elise's eyes filled with tears. I fell in love with you the first time you argued with my father at dinner. You were the only person who ever stood up to him, who ever challenged him. I fell in love with your courage, even when I knew you were lying about your past. She touched his face gently. But I also used you, she admitted. I used your connection to Kingston, your knowledge of my father's network. I used your guilt and fear. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Can we move past it? Kade asked. I don't know, Elise said honestly. But I want to try. If you do. Kade looked around the airport, at all the normal people living their normal lives. Maybe he could have that too. Maybe not normal, but real. Okay, he said. Let's try. Elise's smile was brilliant. She started to hug him, but Kade held up a hand. One condition, he said. What? No more tests. No more games. If we're doing this, we're doing it honestly. Deal. Elise agreed immediately. They walked out of the airport together. Not hand in hand yet, but side by side. It was a start. 6 weeks later, Seoul Central Courthouse. The trial of Senator Kong was the biggest in Korean history. Every news network covered it. International media descended on Seoul. Kade sat in the witness gallery, watching as prosecutors presented their case. The evidence was overwhelming. Financial records, video testimony, documents, everything. Sienna testified via video link from an undisclosed location. She was calm, detailed, devastating. Her testimony about the 2 years of captivity brought the courtroom to complete silence. Elise testified in person. She detailed how she discovered her father's crimes, how she built the case, how she'd risked everything to bring him down. And Kade testified. He admitted his role in Kingston, his use of the encrypted drive, his blackmail. But he also provided crucial evidence that closed the final gaps in the case. Senator Kang sat through it all with a blank expression. But when the verdict came, guilty on all counts, life imprisonment with no possibility of parole, something in his face finally cracked. He looked directly at Elise. "You destroyed your own family," he said. "No," Elise replied, her voice steady. "You did. I just stopped pretending it was whole." Security led him away. Outside the courthouse, Elise stood before a wall of cameras and reporters. "Today, justice was served," she said. "Not just for the victims of Senator Kang's crimes, but for every person who believed that power and privilege placed someone above the law. My father built an empire on corruption and violence. Today, that empire fell." "What's next for you, Congresswoman Kang?" a reporter shouted. "I continue my work," Elise said. "Fighting corruption, reforming our political system, rebuilding trust. And I do it knowing that no legacy, good or bad, lasts forever. What matters is what we choose to build today." Kade watched from the edge of the crowd. He caught her eye and she smiled. A real smile. 3 months later, Kade sat at a small cafe in Seoul's Gangnam district. He'd opened a legitimate consulting firm here, advising companies on security and risk management. It was growing slowly but steadily. His phone buzzed. A video call. "Sienna." He answered. She appeared on screen, sitting on what looked like a balcony overlooking ocean. "Is that Thailand?" Kade asked. "Bali," Sienna corrected. "I'm teaching English to local kids. It's simple, it's honest, and it's mine." "You look happy," Kade observed. "I am," Sienna said. "For the first time in years, I'm actually happy. What about you?" "Getting there," Kade said. "And Elise?" Kade glanced over. Elise was walking toward the cafe, carrying groceries. They were trying the domestic thing, cooking dinner together, movie nights, normal couple activities. It was strange and wonderful and terrifying. "She's good," Kade said. "We're good. Taking it slow, but good." "I'm glad," Sienna said, and she meant it. "You both deserve some peace." "So do you." "I found it," Sienna said. "On a beach in Bali, teaching kids, growing vegetables. It's everything I never knew I needed." Elise arrived, leaning over to wave at the screen. "Hi, Sienna." "Congresswoman," Sienna replied with a smile. "Just Elise," Elise corrected. "I'm off duty." They chatted for a few more minutes. Then Sienna had to go. Her students were waiting. After she hung up, Elise sat down across from Kade. "She really did find peace," Elise observed. "We all did," Kade said. "In different ways. Do you ever regret it?" Elise asked. "Coming back, testifying, giving up your anonymity." Kade thought about it. "Sometimes. But then I remember what the alternative was. Always running, always looking over my shoulder, never really living. And this is living. This is living," Kade confirmed. "Not perfect, not easy, but real." Elise reached across the table and took his hand. "No more lies." "No more lies," Kade agreed. It wasn't a fairy tale ending. They both carried scars, physical, emotional, psychological. They both had nightmares sometimes. They both struggled with trust. But they were trying. Honestly, genuinely trying. And maybe that was enough. 1 year later, Kade stood in front of a small grave in a private cemetery outside Seoul. The headstone read, "Sienna Cross, 1992 to 2023, finally at rest." It was the original grave, the one that had been created when Senator Kang faked her death. After the trial, authorities had exhumed it and found the Jane Doe who'd been buried there. She'd been properly identified and returned to her family. And Sienna had insisted on keeping the marker. Not for herself, but as a reminder. A reminder of what? Kade had asked. "That I survived," Sienna had said. "That even when someone tries to erase you, you can come back." Now Kade placed flowers on the grave. Not for Sienna, she was alive and thriving in Bali, but for the woman who'd been buried there. For all the nameless victims of Senator Kang's empire. Elise stood beside him. "You okay?" she asked. "Yeah," Kade said. "Just thinking about how many lives he destroyed, how many people never got their justice." "But some did," Elise reminded him. Because of what we did. Because we chose to fight instead of run. Kade nodded. She was right. They walked back to the car. As they drove away, Kade's phone buzzed. One final message from an unknown number. He opened it. A photo. Sienna on a beach, teaching a group of children. They were all smiling, laughing, building sandcastles. Below it, found my piece. Hope you found yours. S. Kade showed Elise. She smiled. Send her one back. Kade took a photo of the two of them. Sent it with the message. We did. K. 3 people who'd collided in an airport. 3 people who'd been broken by the same man. 3 people who'd survived by choosing trust over fear. They'd all found their peace. Different versions of it, but peace nonetheless. And sometimes, that was the only happy ending that mattered. The end. Wow. What a journey. If you made it all the way to the end, you're incredible. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Drop a comment telling me, what was your favorite moment? Team Sienna or Team Elise? And most importantly, do you think Kade made the right choice? Share this with someone who loves thriller stories. And check out our other videos for more edge of your seat content. Thanks for watching. Until next time, remember, sometimes the ghosts of our past come back not to haunt us, but to save us.